Hello, Insaniacs, and possible future knights of the Socnician Knights of the Order of St. Francis. Because I think the Knights of Malta need some competition. So I thought I'd just drop that I am recruiting for the Knights, we're the Socnician Knights of the Order of St. Francis. But we're not here for the Knights of St. Francis, the Socnician Knights of St. Francis. We're here for the sounds of Mars, the Martians.
The crunch of the rover's own wheels on gravel.
Yeah.
The zapping of its laser. And high-pitched noises we can't fully explain.
Whoa, mysterious noises. Mysterious noises. This video contains all the sounds ever recorded from Mars. Some of the sounds are unexpected and can't be fully explained. I haven't actually watched it yet. I watched a couple of movies that my friend sent me. Actually, my friend from the bar sent me. It was, shit, I wish I actually kept the link to it. It was, well, anyway, we're here for the sounds of Mars. Tonight's a little more structured than usual. Oh, yeah, it was Weird Science. That's what I watched last night. Your movie is quite down the list. Yours is... I never did find the English version. I was never able to get an English version, but I gotta get through these Samurai Pizza Cats, Archie's Sting. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff. So when I get through all that, do them in order. But right now it's Martian Wind. The Wind of Mars.
You're listening to the first ever. You're listening to the first ever sound directly recorded from the surface of Mars. It's faint, but undeniably real. For generations, we've imagined Mars in silence. Now,
you got to remember, the Martian atmosphere is only 1% the density of Earth's. How the hell they even record that? It must be some crazy sensitive microphone. Well, let's continue on listening to the sounds of Mars.
Now, for the first time, we can hear its true voice.
Yep.
The ghostly breeze you heard was recorded by NASA's Perseverance rover just 18 hours after it landed in Jezero Crater. In the initial recording, the rover's microphone was still tucked away on its deck, making the sound muffled, almost like listening with a hand cupped over your ear. Listen again. This time, the microphone is fully exposed,
Okay.
the subtle rush of Martian wind clearly.
Mars. Oh, that sucks. I can't put the link in there. Actually, I should put a link to this video in the comments so you guys can actually watch it with headphones. Let me do that. Alien wind. Okay, well, let me send it to you so you can listen to it with headphones. Oh, crap. Ooh. Sexy sockness. Okay, I have to... Actually, I don't know what'll happen. Let me lower it on here. Lower the sound on the computer, so... It should work. So, let me get out of this. I can see my own mouse. Okay, there we go. It loaded. It actually did legit load. So let's get back to the sounds of Mars. Well, if you want to listen to it headphones, I gave you the link. And there's some guy from like ancient time. Oh, Carl Sagan, inventor of the communication satellite. That's what he says in a lot of his videos, like on TV. He's Brainiac. What we got next? We're only 2 minutes into this thing. Oh, yeah, it's going through all the rovers. Broken. No sound. You have an atmosphere. I think you should include a microphone. You have light. You already included a camera, but why not a microphone? There we go. No, that one didn't work. It was deaf. Damn, you have a freaking atmosphere. Why wouldn't you put a microphone on most of these? Should be like your priority. Catch her some sound or something. It's like, may just sound like a windy day, but still, you might get some science out of it. And it looks like they dig a hole. Oh, I used to like 15. I used to listen to Art Bell like 15 years ago. Oh, I had no sound. But did it talk?
The Curiosity rover also did not possess a microphone. NASA was seemingly reluctant to include microphones on rovers.
Oh, so it does actually talk. Damn, I turned it off.
Included a microphone on the Mars Polar Lander, which was launched in 1999. Unfortunately, the spacecraft smashed into the Martian surface due to a communication error.
Yeah.
Whether it was due to superstition or budget concern.
You know what the reality was? Martians didn't want to be heard. That's what it actually was. Oh, that's cool. So what do you live in Rachel, Nevada? I think it's the closest city.
There were no microphones included on the twin rovers, Spirit.
Where they have the... I think it's Rachel, Nevada, where they have the Alley Inn. The Alien. You spend the night, it's supposed to have aliens. You can go up to the mountaintop. I think they might have bought that mountain recently, but so you can't go to the top anymore and look over the side. Oh, yeah, I was right. Close to Area 51. Yep. Rachel, Nevada. It's the home of the Alley Inn, right? The Alley Inn there still open anymore? Let me know.
Launched in 2007, NASA's Mars Phoenix lander had a microphone aboard, but it had to be turned off before launch due to last-minute technical difficulties.
Bullshit!
Launched in 2011,
Cover up.
The Curiosity rover also did not possess a microphone. NASA was seemingly reluctant to include microphones on rovers. In 2018, however,
the hide shit
lander touched down to study the inner workings of the planet. The lander was equipped with a seismometer and listening for Mars quakes.
Oh, they found those.
Vibration. The seismometer was able to pick up tiny vibrations caused by the Martian wind. And after some processing, we could hear these vibrations from Mars.
Oh, we can. Oh, there we go. That's where I left off earlier. Dong, 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 yeah, the slow pattern going dong, dong, dong. You know when the Starship Voyager gets attacked and everything on the bridge starts to shake? That's what I'm thinking. And since it's like paddle shaped, spank, spank, spank.
All changed with Perseverance, NASA's latest rover, which touched down on Mars in 2021. Perseverance is the first mission to
double mics
carry a working microphone to the Martian surface. In fact, it has two microphones, one mounted on the rover's body and another on its mast as
Two
part of the
mics.
so-called SuperCam instrument. These are not exotic sci-fi devices, but essentially off-the-shelf microphones adapted for space travel.
Cool, it's still
Same type
open.
that anyone can buy on the internet.
Hey, I can
With
buy a
these
Mars
years on
mic.
Mars, Perseverance has recorded nearly 5 hours of Martian sounds so far.
Well, we only got
Mars
15
has an
minutes.
incredibly thin atmosphere, just about
Yeah.
1% as dense as Earth's.
As I
composed
said.
mostly of carbon dioxide. Because of this, sounds behave very differently there. It's quieter, weaker, and slower. So quiet, in fact, that mission scientists confessed they sometimes worried the microphones had failed. That is, until they hear the quiet whisper of wind. These moments confirm that most of the time, Mars is a tranquil, nearly silent world. Until something stirs the stillness.
Mars has gas. They do have gas.
That something can be the rover
And it
itself.
blows.
On the 16th Martian day of its mission, as the rover trundled across the rocky terrain,
Well, I'm glad the little alley inn is still open. It's like, shit, now I need to find myself a sugar daddy with a car that will take me out there. But all the people I meet, none of them are conspiracy theorists who want to go near Area 51. It's like, God damn it, why couldn't I have been born in Texas where there is at least some conspiracy theorists who would be more than willing to go there? Really sucks. California is full of libtards. Maybe they should breathe some of that Martian gas.
the microphone on its body
good
was
for
missing.
What the hell? Unexpected. Yeah, it looks a lot like Arizona or something. Shit. Or like certain parts of Nevada and certain parts of California after the nuclear war, of course. Because there are ruins in some of these images, but they haven't used one yet that had the ruins. Had like bricks or whatever, like blocks of stone. But what is scratching the microphone? That is so weird. It's all scratchy. Meow. Meow. Engineers at NASA filter this scratching noise out to better hear the other sounds. Something's banging on the rover. That is so
The
weird.
bangs and pings echo through the rover's frame each time a wheel strikes a stone. It
Oh,
sounds surprisingly harsh, almost like something is wrong, with an unsettling scratching noise heard throughout the recording.
damn, that's creepy. Even the rocks sound haunted.
One NASA engineer joked,
Clank,
if I heard
clank,
these
clank,
sounds driving my
clank, clank,
car,
clank.
I'd call for a tow.
Yeah, I
On
would,
Mars,
but
this is exactly what we expected. It's the racket of a one-ton robot crawling across alien terrain. The full recording is 16 minutes long, and it's a treasure trove for the team back on Earth. The high-pitched scratching noise really intrigued engineers. They think it could either be electromagnetic interference or the result of Martian soil interacting oddly with the wheels. Whatever it is, it was unexpected.
you know, most NASA probes are usually insulated against radiation. So the radiation thing is complete bullshit. They're covering up for actual alien technology, exposing the rover to some unknown magnetic fields or radiations and stuff. So in reality, that rover is actually shielded from solar radiation. So all that screeching, it's absolute bullshit. It's alien technology causing it. It's not a mistake, not an accident. It is shielded from solar radiation. So the reality is that is some kind of alien technology on Mars interfering with the rover.
Perseverance also captures sounds created by its advanced instruments. Its SuperCam instrument uses a powerful laser to zap Martian rocks, vaporizing small bits into plasma for analysis. Surprisingly, this process creates a sharp, snapping sound.
A zapping
Not the
wave will
sci-fi
go.
you might imagine, but more like a sharp, snapping pop.
That's wimpy. Get a better
Each burst
laser.
of sound is the laser striking the rock, creating a tiny sonic ping that the SuperCam microphone picks up. These laser zaps aren't just for show. They carry information in their sound. Higher-pitched, louder snaps can mean the target rock is harder or has a different composition.
You need a bigger
Softer
laser.
pops might indicate a more porous or weathered rock. In fact, Perseverance's microphone has already recorded over 25,000 laser shots on Mars, giving scientists a huge data set. Even the time it takes for the sound to reach the microphone can be analyzed to calculate the speed of sound on Mars. Take a moment to appreciate this. We're listening to a chemical analysis by sound. When scientists studied these audible laser clicks closely, they discovered something truly unexpected,
Yeah.
as we'll soon hear.
Speed of sound in CO2? What is it?
The rover has also performed another first in space exploration.
So what is the speed of sound in CO2 versus nitrogen? And well, we know on Earth it's like 670 miles an hour, something crazy like that. Actually, let's go look it up, see what the speed of sound is on Earth. I think it was like 670 or something like that. I'll go with MPH. Nope, I was wrong. I got my numbers reversed. 767 miles an hour. Let's find out what it is on Mars. Let's see if they even know. Do they know? They do. They actually do know. Low pitch sounds traveling around 537 miles an hour. Higher pitch sounds at 559 miles per hour. So making it slower and muffling high frequencies compared to Earth's 767 miles an hour. This means sound travels slower and have a different quality, with high notes getting absorbed more easily. Oh, that's freaking crazy. Sound, carbon dioxide has a slower speed of sound. It'll hit Mach
It's the first
faster.
mission to successfully convert the Martian atmosphere to oxygen. In an experimental proof of concept, a device called MOXIE made enough oxygen for a small dog to breathe for around 10 hours. In one of these sessions, Perseverance was listening.
Well, another channel I watched said it's enough for a human to breathe for 1 hour. So I guess you can measure the weight of the dog at that point of being, I don't know. Well, they said for 10 hours versus 1 hour. So yeah, 16-pound dog, Chihuahua, for a Chihuahua. Aliens. Aliens. Woo, the aliens. Take me to your leader, Donald Trump.
By now, you may have heard about Ingenuity, the tiny helicopter that hitched a ride to Mars with
Yeah,
Perseverance.
Baby
The
Jobber.
rover's little friend made history with the first powered flight on another planet.
I would have called
For
it
its fourth
Bumblebee.
Perseverance was watching
I would have named it Bumblebee and go, brrrr.
and listening.
That's how fast those blades have to go. Damn. That thing is real. Whoa, 2,537 RPM doesn't even do that much. That is insane. No wonder that thing crashed. You don't fly in thin air, dude. There's a reason. Choppers don't fly that high on
At
Earth.
80 meters or 262 feet away, roughly the length of a football field, Perseverance listened as Ingenuity took off. In testing, calculations suggested the microphone might barely detect the rotor noise, if at all. But luck was on our side. In the recording, you can just make out that periodic hum of rotor blades. It's subtle, but it's the first time the noise of a spacecraft has ever been recorded by another spacecraft.
Cool.
When researchers analyzed all the audio Perseverance gathered, they had a stunning realization. Mars appears to have two different speeds of sound. High-pitched sounds, like the crack of the laser, travel a bit faster, while lower-pitched sounds, like the helicopter's rumbling, travel slower. On Earth, such a difference doesn't happen. All sounds, high or low, move at the same speed through our air. But on Mars, because of the unique atmosphere, high-frequency noises propagate slightly faster. So what does that mean if you were there? If a Martian orchestra were playing in the distance, the high notes might literally reach you before the low notes. The alien Martian air literally mixes sound in a way our ears have never experienced. Here are some common sounds from Earth, processed.
I just had to be patient. It would have explained it. I looked it up. All I had to do was be patient. The video was going to explain it. Let's hear what an orchestra sounds like on Mars in a deathfully thin atmosphere that is so thin that a helicopter has blades that buzz faster than a freaking fly's wings.
By NASA to simulate what they might sound like on Mars.
You really notice anything different? Oh, yeah, I definitely do. And it's a dump truck of all things. You can't even hear it. Birds! Birdies! You know what I'm really curious about? What does everything sound like in a hydrogen atmosphere? Like on Jupiter? Can't even hear the birds at all.
Mars is famous for its dust devils. They've been seen in images for decades. But on the 215th day of the mission, Perseverance did something unprecedented. It heard one. By sheer luck, Perseverance's microphone was recording when a dust devil passed right over it.
Cool! Okay. Not much to
In those brief seconds, Perseverance's microphone recorded 308 separate dust grain impacts hitting the rover. By combining this sound,
they actually counted the dust grains hitting the rover. How the fuck do you even do that? That's insane. How do they know how many dust grains actually hit the freaking rover? Versus just going windy noises. That is freaking insane. That's how sensitive this technology is.
And with data from the rover's weather sensors and cameras, scientists determined that the dust devil was about 25 meters or 80 feet high. It barreled through at roughly 12 miles per hour or 5 meters per second. Not a ferocious tornado by Earth standards, but enough to fling a bunch of dust in the thin air.
Yep.
In just a short time, Perseverance's microphones have transformed our experience of Mars. This success is just the beginning. It's a strong proof of concept that we can record audio on other planets.
Yep.
And it's something that future missions can build on. Imagine listening to the sulfuric acid rain on Venus, or the methane thunder on Saturn's moon Titan in the future.
You know, we're actually currently working on a mission to send a flying robot to Titan. So we might actually see Titan before we see any other moons or planets. we're not going to see the sulfuric acid rains of Venus. But the next mission I hear about is Titan. It's definitely Titan.
And at the dawn of a new era of space exploration.
I'll look it up
the
after
Sam
this.
Jordan site in our toolkit for understanding other planets.
Okay, it's
We'd
done.
like to thank our channel members and Patreon subscribers for your generous support. Join the community today to get your name in the videos, early access to ad-free content, and even a curated set of 4K desktop wallpapers.
It's called
It really
Dragonfly.
helps us to create more.
It's called Dragonfly. That's the mission they want to do, to send an aircraft to Titan. So yeah, upcoming mission, July 2028. We launched in 2028. Plan to arrive in 2034. We're gonna hear a Titanian wind. Or basically a moon's gonna fart and go. And we're gonna get to hear it. 1.5 atmospheres of pressure, so it may be louder. You know, the crazy thing is the atmosphere is made out of nitrogen, so sounds on Titan are probably going to sound just like they do on Earth. Because atmosphere is made out of the same shit, but the problem is the temperature is so fucking frozen. It's like, I don't know, see if we can find that they even have the temperature on here. Doubt they do, but I'll just look up Titan and see what the temperature is going to be. Hey, it got it. I want to know what the temperature is going to be. How frozen is that nitrogen going to be? Minus 290 Fahrenheit. That's pretty freaking cold. I didn't hear it rank diamonds on Saturn. I heard it ranked diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Was it Saturn? It was the diamonds. You'll find diamonds in Uranus and Neptune. Looney Tune. But Titan is 290 degrees below zero, or 179 Celsius, minus 179 Celsius, or 94 Kelvin. Well, Kelvin don't make sense because we don't measure anything in that, or very rarely. Only scientists use Kelvin. It'd be crazy if the weatherman used Kelvin. It'd be like 350 or something on Earth. Let's find out if it's 350. I think it is. Something insane. No, the average surface temperature on Earth is 288 Kelvin. So it'll be 59 degrees Fahrenheit. It is probably going to be 59 tomorrow. Let's check the weather. I think it's going to be that cold tomorrow. It's going to be 288 Kelvin tomorrow. Yep, pretty much. 58. You see it right there. That's the temperature tomorrow. 59. So it's going to still be at 288 degrees Kelvin. We are literally the average temperature of Earth tomorrow. 288 Kelvin tomorrow here in San Francisco. And it's going to fucking rain. Yuck. I hate fucking rain. But you know, you see what it says up here? That is Saturday. And the bar opens at noon. And so it gives me enough time to get at least 2 drinks before I have to go home. So yes, I am going to the bar tomorrow. I'm probably going to regret it. I might get sick because I'm having alcohol right now. So I'll probably just have non-alcoholic beer tomorrow. So then I got to recover, but at least I will be there. So I'm going to go to the top secret bar, classified information, all that kind of crap. But, yeah. Why doesn't the Yucatan have rivers? Because they're underground, you idiot. It has rivers. They're underground. Let's continue the science theme.
The
Yeah.
Yucatan Peninsula is a beautiful landscape with rich ecosystems, lush forests, and picturesque beaches. But it's missing something. Look at a map and you'll immediately notice it's lacking a feature that's pretty common nearly everywhere else on
Yeah,
Earth.
a river.
Major rivers. And it's not like the Yucatan is a desert. It rains over 1,000 millimeters per year. That's about
Yeah, it's all underground.
So where does all the water go? Turns out
The earth just drinks it like horse piss, like a Budweiser beer. Well, that is basically horse piss.
it's hiding beneath our feet. The Yucatan
Yes.
is home to a network of underground tunnels.
Like I said,
Thousands of kilometers long.
underground.
This massive aquifer was partly carved by one of the most destructive events in our planet's history, and in turn,
Yeah,
it's
God
steered
killed the
course of
dinosaurs.
life on the peninsula ever since.
Yeah.
Located mostly in Mexico, but also extending into Guatemala and Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula is made of a 1.5 kilometer thick block of limestone and other
Damn.
carbonate rocks. Carbonates are made from the remnants of marine life. Lots of little shells and coral are compressed and eventually lithify into solid rock. This particular block began forming at the bottom of a shallow sea in the Triassic period over 200 million years ago, and has continued to grow and evolve ever since. In fact, some of the limestones on the peninsula even formed in the last 10,000 years. That's pretty much yesterday in
Damn,
geologic
that's
terms.
hella
But
recent.
66 million years ago, at the end of the Cretaceous, something fairly dramatic happened in the middle of the Yucatan. It's probably not news to you that a huge asteroid crashed into the Earth and ended the reign of
Damn, that's one hell of a
the
rock.
non-avian dinosaurs. Well, this is where it landed. So is that the reason for the lack of major rivers today? Kind of yes, but mostly no. Let me explain. The main reason for the lack of rivers is all that limestone and the process that began.
Wait till you see where the crater actually is. Coastline will make absolutely no fucking sense. Because it's completely not influenced by the crater, but the cenotes that the Mayans and the Aztecs or whatever dumped all the dead bodies into, they do form rings. But the shape of the peninsula has nothing to do with it, which is fucking batshit.
Ends with the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. A
Yeah.
small amount of this gas dissolves naturally in rainwater to form carbonic acid. That means raindrops are slightly acidic. And after they fall, the water flows through soil on the ground, picking up more carbon dioxide along the way. This acidity
Yeah.
makes the water really good at slowly dissolving carbonate rocks like
Let's say she even explains why the peninsula is the shape that it is.
limestone. In fact,
'Cause it makes no
geologists
sense.
sometimes carry little bottles of a mild acid with them to identify carbonate rocks. If you put a drop of acid on it and it forms bubbles, it's a carbonate.
Oh.
So bit by bit, rainwater has dissolved the limestone in the Yucatan and excavated a network of caves, tunnels, and an estimated 9,000 sinkholes called cenotes. Features like these, created
Yep, exactly as I said, the cenotes.
by carbonate erosion, are called karst. The Yucatan is one of the Earth's largest karst
Hollowed
aquifers,
out.
extending across 165,000 square kilometers.
And the other crazy thing is, that's what Florida's made of. That's why you do not ever want to move to Florida. It is made out of the same bullshit rock. That stuff will dissolve. You pour a soda on it.
This includes the largest underwater cave systems on the planet. All this means when more rain falls On the
Never
peninsula,
mind.
instead of flowing over the
Disappeared.
surface through
Got
rivers,
done.
it flows into the ground through cracks in the limestone and becomes part of this network. In the aquifer, rainwater forms a layer of fresh water that is up to 100 meters thick. This floats over top of salt water that seeps in from the nearby ocean. Now, the Yucatan is
Weird.
the only
I
place
didn't know it was that
The
deep.
Salento Peninsula, which forms the heel of Italy's boot, lacks rivers on the surface, but has an extensive network of water that flows through deep canyons and caves, or the Nullarbor Plain in South Australia. While this region is quite arid today, around 4 million years ago, water excavated the largest exposed karst landscape on the planet. But heading back to the Yucatan, you're probably still wondering what role that big asteroid played in all this. Let's take a look at a satellite image of the peninsula. If we mark the cenotes, you'll notice a bunch form a pretty perfect ring shape. 66 million years ago, when the asteroid hit the young carbonate platform of the Yucatan, it blew out a 200-kilometer wide crater. More carbonate rocks have long since filled it in, but fractures around the edge of the impact gave water a path to flow through, forming a ring of especially deep sinkholes. The underground caves of the Yucatan are a unique environment that has some equally unique things living in it. In 2023, researchers teamed up with cave divers to collect samples and figure out who's hiding down there. Through gene sequencing,
You know, they found a lot of dead bodies down there from all the sacrifices. A lot of crazy shit used to go on down there.
they discovered that Yucatan groundwater has a microbiome that is distinct from the nearby ocean, and a cenote in one area can have a different set of microbes from one someplace else. Even the fresh water at the top of a single cenote has completely different microbes living in it than the salt water at the bottom. Life can be tough deep underground without much light or organic matter to eat. In an environment that can change so dramatically a few meters up or down, some of the most abundant microbes are also the most flexible. For example, the most common family of microbes can take their pick of metabolizing organic matter, iron, hydrogen, or nitrogen. The cenote
Or trolls, should I throw one of them in? These microbes have no problem handling all the trolls of our Lord Cyrax of the Cyrax nation. His trolls should be digested by those cenotes. The Mayans were right to throw bad people in there. They were right. We should throw bad people into the cenotes. Trolls, specifically anyone who says anything negative about disabled people, should be thrown into one of those holes and abandoned to their fate, to have their bones dissolved by the acidic waters of a cenote. Or if not, they're lucky they'll be preserved and crystallized, but most likely just be dissolved the way they should be, forgotten.
are also home to blind cavefish and shrimp.
Yeah.
Many species of which only live in the Yucatan. Paleontologists and archaeologists have even found bones of prehistoric horses, camels, elephants, and giant sloths, not to mention human remains, preserved in the waters of...
You know, you just walked into the... Well, tonight's just a scientific night. You walked into factual knowledge that men are men, women are women, they cannot cross gender, and that cenotes have bones in them. And, well, you missed all the Martian winds, most likely. The beginning of the stream was Martian winds. Yeah, go run away.
cenotes for
Run
thousands of
away,
years.
run
The
away,
ancient
as you
Maya
always
built
do.
their cities next to cenotes for access to water. They sometimes also excavated their own deep pits to catch and store rainwater called choltuns. Today, cenotes attract tourists from around the world to marvel at their dramatic sunbeams piercing crystal blue water. But it's more than just a good photo. To this day, cenotes also hold spiritual importance for the Maya, and groundwater is still the region's only local source of fresh water. Karst aquifers are especially vulnerable to pollution. That's
Yeah.
because water flows through them quickly, so contaminants spread fast.
Yeah.
And limestone also
Don't
doesn't
piss on the
naturally filter water
backyard.
as well as other sediments. All this means the rapid development of the peninsula has also caused contamination of the aquifer. As of 2021, 92% of cenotes tested were polluted with things like sewage and pesticide runoff.
Yeah.
So even though the waterways of the Yucatan are hiding underground, they're still vulnerable to what us humans do on the surface. And the outline
Yep.
of an ancient crater that led to a mass extinction is a reminder that all creatures, including us, depend on
Kind of looks like the. And never
the
mind. You're
planet
gone.
beneath our feet for our
I'm
survival.
not gonna bother. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna call it a night then. You're all gone. So. Okay, well, good night. Got no reason to be around anymore. It's all off and on, so I guess I'm gonna call it a night. So, bye bye.